If you're a mom, you're a superhero. That's right. Own it. We possess a unique superpower of intuition, a sixth sense for what our kids are up to, how they feel, what they want, and when they want it. Yep, it's amazing. I call this mom sense. Oftentimes, we are Googling for answers, joining Facebook groups, or relegating to taking unsolicited advice from our friends when all we have to do is listen to that voice inside us. No, not the one that's telling you you're fat. The other voice, the one that seems to know everything when it comes to your kids and leaves you feeling confident, empowered, purposeful, and all things #mom goals. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda Gupta, and I'm a mother of twin toddlers and a baby, double the fun plus one. And I can honestly say that now that I'm a mom, I feel like my life is just getting started. On my podcast, I interview industry experts and real-life mamas on their mom sense experiences, tackling topics like how to teach kids to meditate, what it takes to have the marriage you've always dreamed of, and how to master your car makeup routine. Grab your latte, that's probably ice cold by now, and take a listen to That's Total Mom Sense. Hello there, mamas. Welcome to the That's Total Mom Sense podcast. I'm your host, Kanika Chadda Gupta. So today's episode is on the benefits of massage for your kids. And we're even going to say massage is the new bath. Yes, you heard it right. And we'll get into it in today's episode. We all know the benefits of massage. To give you a little bit of a history, massage is an ancient art that dates back to the dawn of civilization. In Greek, the word means to work with the hands, as in kneading dough. In 400 BC, Hippocrates wrote that a physician must be experienced in many things, especially in rubbing and massage. So there's no doubt that this is something that dates back, just centuries in many different cultures. Massage has a number of benefits. It helps with infant weight gain, stress and anxiety relief, motor development, and cognitive development. We're going to talk about this further. But now, without any further ado, I'd love to introduce our guest, who is an expert, and she actually came out with a line of products that helps with exactly this, baby skincare and promoting massage. So today I'm joined by Sweta Doshi. She's the founder of Bubbsi, a skincare brand for babies and toddlers. Leveraging her 10 years of experience working in strategy and marketing at major beauty and apparel brands, Sweta decided to solve a problem that all parents face, and that's finding natural skincare for our babies. So Sweta, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, Kanika. This is my first podcast, so I'm very excited too.
Oh, awesome. So before we dive into today's topic, we'd love to learn a little bit more about you. So Sweta, tell us about yourself.
Sure. So for my quick background, I actually grew up in Alabama, which often surprises people because, well, I'm Indian and I don't really have a Southern accent anymore, but believe it or not, I actually said y'all until I moved to Philly for college in 2001. Mm-hmm. So that was where I grew up. I went to school in Philadelphia, like I said, and I married my college sweetheart, Ashish, 10 years ago, actually, almost exactly 10 years ago. We moved to New York, and we've lived in New York since 2005. We live currently in Tribeca, in Lower Manhattan, with our 5-year-old son, Alec, and our 2.5-year-old daughter, Judy.
Beautiful names.
So, I started out in strategy, like I said, but I moved quickly into more operational roles for big brands like Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works. And Bath & Body Works is really where I started to kind of hone my expertise. They are a leading body care brand. They have really loyal customer base. Mm-hmm. And that's where I just learned a ton about the beauty industry. So I was constantly talking to customers about what they love in their body lotion and their shower gel, and how they use those products. And I was part of the actual product development process, and learned a lot about branding and just the power of emotion in products and, how people feel when they really love to use a product.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's really where I kind of say I got my schooling in beauty.
Oh, that's so cool. I have to give a little shout out to Bath and Body Works because I feel like, at least, from my generation, we grew up with that brand.
Yeah.
So Plumeria and Juniper Breeze, I still remember those scents. Like, yeah, that's so cool that you worked there and you were able to make an impact in that way.
Yeah. I mean, it was huge in our middle school days. A lot of people are surprised, but they still have a really loyal following. And it is by far, in volume, the largest kind of lotion and shower gel brand in the US, at least.
Yes.
So, it really, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to learn, honestly, from some of the best in the industry. But, once I had my son and I had been there for a while and learned a ton, I kind of hit a point where I felt like I wanted to transition into something more entrepreneurial and have the ever elusive work-life balance and flexibility that we're all looking for.
Right.
And so I freelanced a bit for a couple of years, had my daughter in between, and then basically started working on Bubbsi about 1.5 years ago. And we just launched around January of this year. So how did you feel inspired to start Bubbsi, after you had them? Yeah. So, my little one, Juhi, had eczema right after she was born. And she literally was wailing after every bath when she was a newborn. And she was born in, at the end of October. She's a Halloween baby. So, the air was dry. It was winter. And we thought she just didn't like putting on clothes. But then when we finally took her to the doctor to get this checked out, he realized that she had eczema. And he told us that we should bathe her less, and that we should be moisturizing a lot more. So that's when I started to really kind of like pay attention to the skincare products I was using. And we actually started using coconut oil, just pure organic coconut oil. And we would massage her twice a day and we would bathe her less. And it really started to clear up. And as I went through this process, as a deep dive on the skincare market for kids, I kind of noticed that in the natural and organic space, like, I just didn't find a lot of products that were truly efficacious, meaning that were truly moisturizing, right? So I didn't want to put a lot of synthetic stuff on my daughter every day. She was a newborn, and your skin really kind of absorbs everything that you put on it. And so I knew I wanted to keep it really natural. But at the same time, none of that stuff was really working as well. Coconut oil worked great. But the downside of that was that it was really messy. So you literally have to open a jar every time, unscrew the jar, scoop it out. You never know if it's liquid or solid.
Exactly. Depends on the time of the year. Yeah.
Exactly. And like the room temperature and all of that stuff. So it just became, it was annoying. And I thought to myself, why is there not just a natural skincare brand for kids that is, natural, has high levels of something like coconut oil that I love, but is easier to use. Like I just wanted something that's squeezed out of a bottle. So that was part of it. The other big part of it is that, I came from the background, like I said, at Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, really emotional brands. And I learned a lot about how customers view their products and how brands appeal to customers. And again, when I looked at the market of skincare products for kids, I felt like there was nothing that was just optimistic and emotionally engaging and happy, right? So everything felt kind of very crunchy granola and almost a little super serious, where it was like, don't put anything on your kids. We're free of all of the bad stuff. But no one really focused on kind of the happy moments of childhood, if you will, through their skincare. And every other category within children's products has that lightheartedness, that playfulness, because when you're catering to kids, that's who they are. And so those two kind of insights came together for me with Bubbsi, where I said, why can't there be a brand that's natural, healthy, organic, effective, truly moisturizing, right? But then it's also just playful and fun, because if kids and parents love these products and they feel like it's playtime, they're going to want to do it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're not going to be, like wriggling out of your grasp. Like, no, I don't want to do this. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Tell us about like the packaging, the fact that it's like essentially a toy for kids, and there's also a sustainable element too.
Yeah. So our formulas are packaged in soft, super squeezable silicone bottles. And silicone is amazing because you're probably seeing it a lot in the children's market and a lot of children's products in the kitchen and things like that. And the reason is because it's totally non-toxic. So it doesn't, even when exposed to heat, it doesn't leach harmful chemicals into your products the way that we know now plastic sometimes does, right? So that's part number one, non-toxic. Two, it's very durable. So it can be exposed to heat. It can be exposed to a lot of things. It's not really going to break down. And then for me, the awesome thing is that it's really super pliable and squeezable. And so you're not running into this thing where you are down to the last drops of your lotion and you can't get them out of the bottle. You can actually squeeze our bottles fully and get every drop of product out, which is amazing. But then on top of that, it's really fun for the kids. So a lot of like teethers are made of silicone. So it has that really fun, soft touch feel, and kids are literally loving it. I mean, I'm getting pictures of kids sleeping with their Bubbsies in their crib. They're like feeding it breakfast. They're taking them to the park. So they're little animal shapes. We have a panda, a puppy, and a piggy, and they're friends,
Cute. Oh my
they're
goodness.
your skincare friends. Yeah. And so you mentioned the sustainability of it. That's really exciting too. Because they're so durable, our bottles are refillable. And I felt really strongly that I didn't want to put more plastic into the world when I created this brand, because it's a real, we have a real crisis with regards to plastic waste on the planet. And so what's exciting here is that you can actually reuse these bottles. I'm selling 32-ounce refills on my site as well. So you can buy a refill when you're done, and you can refill your bottle 4 times, and then you've saved, 4 plastic bottles.
That's wonderful. So we are now producing 300 million tons of plastic every year, half of which is for single use, and more than 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into our oceans. So, I mean, the need is there, and the urgency is there to make a change into our lifestyles. And it's really commendable that you're helping us do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really important. The burden has for a long time been on consumers to reduce and recycle and all of that stuff. But I think that it needs to be manufacturers and producers as well that really think about what we're putting into the world and making sure that's responsible. And, it can't just be about each individual person trying to recycle more. It has to be on the part of everybody.
Yep, exactly. So in one of our previous conversations, you mentioned to me that massage is the new bath. And that just literally made my ears perk up. So why do you think that massage is the new bath?
I told the story a little bit earlier about our experience with eczema. And Chewie had eczema when she was a newborn. We went to the pediatrician. He said, hey, you shouldn't be giving her so many baths, and you should really just be moisturizing her as much as possible. And that's when I started to really research this. And I realized that the Pediatric Academy, the AAP, actually only recommends, I think, 1 to 3 baths max a week. And really as a newborn or in the first year of life, it should really just be like 1 bath and maybe another one with a light soap.
Right.
Because soap can be really harsh on their skin, and even water exposure, frequent water exposure can be really harsh on their skin, because a baby's skin barrier is not even fully developed when they're that little in the first year, in the first couple of years, actually. So,
oh, wow.
So the skin is it's losing its hydration really easily. And things just move in and out very quickly, right? So moisturizing helps hydrate their skin. But as I started to learn more, I realized that one of the other benefits of massage, as an example, is that it brings blood flow and nutrients to the skin. So it actually helps skin cells develop and helps that moisture barrier develop in their skin as well. And so that was eye-opening for me as a new parent, because I don't know if you remember this. I mean, you've been through it more recently, but a lot of people give you the advice. You read a lot that a kid should have a very consistent bedtime routine in order to sleep well, Do you remember this? So people would say like, give them a bath, read them a book, sing them a song, and then put them down and walk away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. And then, I mean, I always thought it was kind of funny doing that with a newborn. It's like, okay, so we're, doing bath time, massage, reading a story, it was just a regimented way of kind of.
Right. It's like the consistency, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, who wants to mess with sleep when you're a new parent?
Right.
I was like, if you tell me to give him a bath, I'm going to give him a bath.
Exactly. Whatever works.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, this insight that like, I shouldn't be bathing him every day or whatever it was actually was eye-opening for me. And the fact that it wasn't great for babies, for their skin in particular. Mm-hmm. Right. But massages actually moisture massages are great for the skin. And one of the many benefits is that they can actually help foster sleep. So it's a win-win.
Right.
And so the reason I said massage is a new bath, it may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but with Bubbsi, I am more focused on moisturization. I think it's really important. And I think new parents maybe don't necessarily have all that information. And so I'm just trying to help people think a little bit differently about their nightly routine.
Yes. So according to Early Child Development and Care, preschoolers perform better on an IQ test following a 15-minute massage than they did after reading books.
Amazing.
And the International Journal of Neuroscience reported that massage improved function in the brain. It resulted in increased alertness as well as speed and accuracy during math problems. So these facts are just really enlightening. So there is science backing up why we do these massages.
One of the interesting things is that there was a study in the US and UK fairly recently that actually showed that moisturization in general actually can help prevent or significantly reduce the onset of eczema in kids that were predisposed to it, which is kind of amazing.
Wow.
Because, scientists really think that eczema has almost reached like epidemic proportions. I'm sure so many kids with it, as I do, for a number of reasons, but frequent moisturization at that early age actually kind of helps reinforce that skin barrier and reduce inflammation right under the skin, which is the beginnings of eczema. Mm-hmm. And eczema, as you may or may not know, is actually like the beginnings of other allergic reactions. So they call it the atopic march, I think, but it's basically, eczema is the starting point, but often that will lead to other allergic reactions, food allergies, and things like that over time. It's like the beginning of this chain. And so to be able to kind of prevent it or reduce it at the beginning could have really much broader implications for kids.
Okay, so you and I are both Indian. Surprise, surprise. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like our culture and perhaps Ayurveda is what inspired you to come up with a coconut-based, lotion and balm? And because we're all about coconut, nariyal, tel, whatever.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the idea of using coconut oil, the whole reason that I started with it is because it's just been something that's in my family forever. My mom's used it all of our lives. She would always she still gives me oil massages, hair, scalp massages. She does it in my hair and I'll leave it overnight when she's in town, which is the best. And, I think it's part of my culture and my upbringing to trust things that are time tested like that. Mm-hmm. I remember when when I was pregnant and even postpartum, and my mom would always tell me about how new moms and babies get like these hot oil baths and massages in India. It's just like part of the culture, which sounds so amazing to me. It's definitely part of it.
Yeah, no, I know for our kids too. We speak to them in Hindi, and so they say "tel malish," and it's so hilarious that they like sing these songs. They're like "tel malish," and they get so excited.
Yeah. So one of the things I say with Bubbsi products is that we are easy peasy, non-greasy bottle squeezy. So it's meant to make it a lot easier. My body cream is actually formulated to be great for massage, but it's not like super greasy. It actually absorbs very quickly. So it's not going to be all over your clothes. Mm-hmm. And it comes out of a bottle. It's bottle squeezy. So we're trying to make it easier for everyone.
That's so memorable. So do you have any tips on how to go about a massage routine?
Yeah. I think one thing that I want to say is, the idea of massage can kind of make you think of candles and spa music and, this like Zen calm in your household. And I'm sure anyone with kids does not have that Zen calm in their household. So I'm not, I'm definitely not encouraging you to have to get to that spa feeling. But for us, honestly, it's really fun. And it's like 5 or 10 minutes a day, and it's when we're changing clothes. So either in the morning or in the evening, it's really just about the time that you would normally kind of put lotion on your kids and get them dressed. It's about kind of lingering in that moment a little bit more, and feeling out your kids. So with my daughter, who's 2.5 years old, we sing songs, and sometimes it's like Itsy Bitsy Spider or whatever it is. And I just kind of do, circles on her legs. She loves 5 little monkeys. So I'll pull each of her toes and do 5 little monkeys. Aww. And it's fairly quick. She's harder to keep still. I let her choose between our like panda body cream and our puppy oil balm and which one she wants to use. And that always kind of calms her a little bit. And with my son, who's 5, sometimes I even do it standing up, but he loves actually like a foot massage. So I'll just put him on his bed. He loves like a nice foot massage. I'll go up the legs in circles, and then do the same down his arms, give him a little back rub. And it's just kind of like, I'll tickle them. Aww. So it's just fun and lighthearted and playful. It's not about like a serious massage or anything, but even that sense of touch, it's like snuggling. It really does. It helps you bond with your kids. And so it's something that I really look forward to now every day.
That's so sweet. Yeah, no, I think that's so important. And for like the dads to get in on this too,
totally.
Because usually, in our house, dad's kind of responsible for bath time, but we're outnumbered. So like, of course I help, but that's one thing that they look forward to, with bonding with their dad is him giving them massage. So I'm definitely going to pass these tips on to him.
Yeah. And then I think, face massage is really great too, especially if they're congested, just kind of putting your thumbs between their eyes and kind of working down the nose. So I try to do that a lot as well. And that's definitely one, where it takes a little time, but once your kids get used to it, and again, it's part of your routine. You spoke about routine. Right. Kanika, I know that's really important to you, but once things are part of their routine, they don't really fight them. They start to enjoy them. Right. And so I've really tried to make it fun for them.
No, it's true. They expect it. I mean, there's times where I'm like in a rush and my sister, what am I saying? There's times where I'm in a rush and my daughter will be like, nail polish. And it's like, oh yeah, she's going to remind me. Another good one is for my son, which I do. He's 8 months. So I do the water wheel down his tummy. It's just cupped hands, one after the other. And that helps eliminate gas. So I found that to be a good one, or even just kind of tracing where their intestine would be and going all the way down. Yep. It's good for that, especially.
Yeah. And another thing I learned in all this is that massage actually kind of helps clear the body of toxins. So it physically almost pumps toxins through the bloodstream, through the lymph nodes. And so another area that you're supposed to massage is sort of, if you imagine the chest going from the middle of the chest out towards the underarms where your lymph nodes are, and really almost like pumping some of the toxins out of the system through the lymph nodes. I thought that was really interesting too.
That makes sense. Now tell me, what do you think is harder, being an entrepreneur or being a mom?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I think being a mom is harder, because I feel like I have gone through my life, preparing for career stuff, right? Like since I was little, my parents were amazing and always told me and my sister that we could do anything we wanted to do. And they sent us to the best schools they could. And, they gave us all the support we needed educationally, academically. They still support us in that way. And so I've always been raised and gone through my life thinking I can do anything from a career perspective. I just have to put my mind to it. Right. And then I became a mom, and like, I just realized how hard it is. And it's not something I've been prepping for all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just from a skills perspective, but emotionally, it's not something where I've, been telling myself all my life, okay, I've been focusing on myself for 30 something years, but now there's going to be 2 other kids that are like literally on top of me all the time and depend on me, and a few others for survival. Like
Exactly.
that's just not something you think about when you're little.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. The level of responsibility, lifelong, that we have.
Yeah. And like the fact that you can't be like absorbed in yourself, or even just like only thinking about like what you're going to do next and what you need, because now it's all about what these other people need. And quite honestly, your needs are relegated to bottom of the list or lower on the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think that's what's been really tough for me, is that mental switch of like, okay, it's not just like go, 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 achieve. Right. Like motherhood's not like that.
So this brings us to my question on mom sense. The impetus for this podcast and how I kind of coined the term mom sense is that I feel like mothers have an intuitive superpower, and sometimes we just know, we know what our kids need when they need it. We don't have to follow the advice that others are giving to us because we know our kids. I mean, they came from us. So do you have like a scenario you could share where you used your mom sense?
Oh, wow. I think a lot of it, I mean, it happens a lot, I guess, in raising your kids. But one thing I can think of is just with my son, I guess most recently, they really sense when you're not around as much or when your mind is somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten busier, as I've launched my business, I see this with my son a lot, where he can kind of sense that my mind's not there. I'm maybe not as present at certain times. And when that happens over the course of a couple of days, it almost starts to come out in his behavior a little bit, where, he'll kind of act out. And I think in a way to get some attention, because he wants my attention back. Right. And so I have been, I guess, using my mom sense a lot with him, because my initial instinct is sort of like to get really frustrated and figure out like, how do I deal with his bad behavior and how do I really put my foot down and all of that. But like every now and then I realize, my gut kind of tells me it's actually not that he needs more discipline. It's that he needs more of me and he needs more of my attention.
It's now time for Mom Haul, when we share products we love.
It's always nice to hear about something that just works for you and you want to just share it with the world. So what is that product?
Believe it or not, I'm not a product junkie at all. I have been racking my brain to think of like some awesome recommendation to give you.
That's okay.
And I don't really have one, but I have a weird one.
Yeah, tell us.
Which is a pancake pan that I recently bought that's actually really made our lives easier. So we have this whole ritual in our house of like Saturday and Sunday morning pancakes. I'm sure it's not like we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
But like, we would I'm super anal about making sure my kids have protein with every meal. So I would make them eat eggs before they get their pancakes. Like I physically don't let them near it until they have their eggs and all that. Mm-hmm. So just becoming a whole painful routine of like making a bunch of pancakes, making a bunch of eggs, adding the fruit, adding the coffee, like all the cleanup. And I just bought one of those like silver dollar pancake pans at Williams Sonoma with like 6 little circles on it, or 9 circles. I don't even know how many.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because we can make basically like, I don't know, 3 or 4 pancakes at a time and then 3 or 4 fried eggs in the other one.
Oh, that's so
And so everything is in one pan and it's like perfectly circle, which my pancakes never are.
That's awesome. And then probably like cooked to be perfectly golden brown,
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. You don't even, it's nonstick, which I don't love. I've been trying to move to like all stainless steel, but it's nonstick. So you don't have to use butter or anything. They come off perfectly.
Right. My mom haul product for today it's a weird one also, and one that I discovered while I was going down a rabbit hole through like some ads I was looking at. But it's a baby car seat head support strap.
Ooh, like so their head doesn't knock over
Yes.
when they're sleeping?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I need one.
Yeah, it's so great. So we went on a road trip recently to DC. Another little tip is travel at night. If you're road tripping, drive at night. We left around 8 p.m., got there around 1. Only made one stop, but that was for the adults in the van. The babies like passed out the entire time. They were in their pajamas, they had their milk, and they were just out, which was
amazing.
But this little thing came in handy because their, heads do flop to the side, and it was like, I can't have them sleeping like that for 4 hours, So I found this, and it's essentially a band that goes around the top of the car seat, and it's you just kind of put it over their foreheads, and it keeps their foreheads in place. And my son, he doesn't like when there's like too much light, and so when we were going through tunnels and stuff, he would wake up. So I just put it further down, cover his eyes, and so it was like an eye mask.
It's like a sleep mask.
And it just it was great. So that's my item, and it's available on Amazon. So okay, Sweta, tell us where we can find Bubbsi.
So you can find Bubbsi on our website. That's where we're selling. We're at lovebubbsi.com. So it's LOVEBUBBSI.com. We're also pretty active on Instagram, and our handle is at lovebubbsi. We're always doing fun giveaways there. And finally, Kanika, I'd like to offer your listeners a discount code to use on their first Bubbsi purchase. So if you enter in MomSense10, MOMSENSE 10, you'll get 10% off your first order at Bubbsi. So
how exciting. Yay, thank you so much, Sweta. Well, I know
thank you.
Me, along with the listeners, are going to be so excited to use the product, and our kids are going to thank you for it too.
That's total mom sense.